My name is Kaylee, and I'm going to show you how to turn something you already have and never wear into the coolest accessory in your closet. Bill Cunningham said, "Fashion is the armor to survive the reality of everyday life." And I love this quote because I believe that putting intention into how we physically embody ourselves in the world can have a profound effect on the amount of courage we have in our daily lives. So let's dive right in. I've got this bag here. I originally got it from eBay and I love the shape of it. It's got a few scuffs, which is nothing a little leather paint can't fix. So here I've gathered all of the colors that I might want to use with this. And this color is called Yeezy. I think I got it just because of the title, but it's a nice color. So I've got a few colors here that I'm going to test out and just see if I like them before I put them on the bag. And I've drawn out this outline of the bag so that I can get an idea of how the design will look before I actually go ahead and put it on the bag. I decided to make leaves on this bag to mark a period of life going forward that feels like a time of great expansion for me. I want this bag to remind me of my intention to stay grounded and connected as I grow and to expand both outwards and inwards calmly and with patience. After seeing it sketched out, I decided I was happy with the design, and so the next step is taking my white gel pen and tracing it directly onto the bag. Now, don't be shy with this because it is really easy to wipe off if you make a mistake. I love these pens, and I've been using Jelly Rolls since I was a kid, so they've never failed me. What I like about these white gel pens is that they glide over the leather so smoothly. Even when I'm doing little details, I've never had an issue. So I'm going to have all of the materials that I'm using linked below. Once I've got it completed, unless you are working on white leather or pleather, I'm going to recommend that you do at least 2 coats of white paint as a base on your design. So now I'm taking my favorite brush. I love this brush. It's so good for detail, and a fluffier one for when I put the varnish on later. I'm starting with a thin coat, and everything inside the lines that I traced, I'm going to fill in. And the reason for this is it acts as a blank canvas to really make your colors pop. Make sure these coats are thin. The paint does dry very fast, and if you do the first coat and you're like, why is this not opaque? Don't worry, it won't be opaque until at least 2 coats in. So what I did here was fill in 2 coats into the leaves. And as I was waiting for everything to dry and just taking a look at it, I also tested out my leather paints on the drawing, the design I had done on paper. And I started out with using these 2 colors to make more of just a green design. But once I put it on the bag, I actually hated it. And the great thing about these leather paints is you can just paint right over it. I ended up finding that using 4 colors, 2 or 3 of them more pastel, if I put a pastel lilac and a baby blue, then it would be easier to match this bag with different colors of clothing that I was going to wear. If you have worked with acrylic on canvas before, you know acrylic is a little cumbersome because it dries really fast, but the viscosity of these leather paints is a lot different from that, and also leather is different than canvas, of course. It's a lot easier to blend colors, I've found, using these materials. The drawback is that it takes a few coats, whereas acrylic paint on canvas, it's pretty opaque pretty quick, but I think you'll find these are really easy to work with if you have a little bit of patience. At this point, I was really happy with the design, and so after a few coats to make the colors really stand out, I took my high gloss acrylic finisher and I sealed my design. All you need is a thin coat of this. It dries really fast and it just makes it look shiny and pretty. It also protects it. I started leather painting only a few years ago, and at this point, I don't walk out of the house without at least one piece that I've had my hands on. The reason I'm sharing this method with you today is because I believe that regardless of income, everyone who wants a special piece in their closet deserves that. Now, I'm not a fashion historian, but when I look back on the past century of trends, I see time and time again how luxury fashion labels appropriate and steal the ways of dressing that various communities with the least financial and political power come up with themselves. When I think of true style, I think of these individuals and groups who, throughout history, have found creative ways of expressing themselves and asserting their identity in the world when they were barred from other ways of doing so. In this way, I think that fashion and dressing goes a lot deeper than how it's often portrayed to be. And I want to imbue my intentions and care into whatever it is I walk around with. I believe that makes a difference in my daily life. If you like this video and decide to make a piece of your own, please drop a comment down below with what you're planning to make. And let me know if you'd like to see more tutorials like this. There are so many more ways to transform what you already have. Now remember to wash your brushes. And if you'd like more from me, you can follow me on Instagram at KayleeBoyne, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.